Right, so very good evening to all of you. I have with me two guys, and the topic we are going to discuss is cutting the tree is good or bad.
In my opinion, if we want to if we want to development in your country, if we want road in in your country and in your place in your city, so you have to cut the tree because everyone knows and everyone knows that transportation plays very important role in our economy for our India. That's why we have to cut the trees. We want to we want development, so we have to cut the trees, sir.
You mean to say that development, which is most important, trees are also important, but the priority is the development. I do agree with this, but not at the cost of harming the atmosphere or harming the environment, because we see the temperature. The temperature is more than the average temperature that we had in earlier years. It is the end of April. Fine, we see the temperature is 42 or 45. It is very dangerous. We are the human, we can protect ourselves. What about the animals outside? What about the birds outside? Most of the birds, they lose their lives. So what about the creatures which are outside? The temperature increasing, melting the glaciers. Global warming is a problem if the temperature increases, right? So it is very threatening. Its effect will be disastrous in upcoming future. What is your take on this?
My according, the cutting trees is so harmful for our atmosphere because the trees gives us oxygen, which is most important for all of the living organisms or living things. So for trees are gives us fruit, shade, and cool breeze air, and the trees as also hold the trees is also hold the soil, so the by the water, so the soil is not erode by the water, so the water don't erode the soil because of the trees roots is hold it.
Trees are important to maintain the temperature, right? Trees are important to get the rainfall. They are responsible to maintain the fertility of the soil. Soil erosion, that is a problem. Sadhguru is starting and running a campaign, Save Soil. So Save Soil, this is the biggest campaign worldwide. So we need to turn ourselves and tilt ourselves toward the nature and start thinking about it. If there is no nature, it will be a disaster everywhere. It is good we have reached up to the moon. It is good we are making so many scientific experimentation. What about the nature? If a human becomes selfish and start harming, polluting the river, harming the trees, harming the atmosphere, there is no harm when you operate the vehicle, when you operate any machinery. But the harmful rays, gases which are ejected through this, what about that? Atmosphere is becoming warm because of the less number of trees, and we need air conditions in our home. Chlorofluorocarbon, carbon dioxide, these gases, nitrogen gases, which are extremely dangerous and harmful for us. So everywhere we are surrounded with the poisonous gases. Pollution, this is the major problem these days. It is a major headache. We are breathing, we are polluting ourselves inside. So not having the tree, it is beyond imagination. We can live our life longer. Otherwise, like it is disastrous. What is your take on this? How can we take care of this?
And the plants for when for the growing up, when the speed of cutting the trees is so much higher in our time, the population of the India is too much, so the amount of pupils is go in the forest and cut the trees. So we should plant the trees for the nature or atmosphere, for also ourselves.
You said about the forests which are being destroyed very easily and quickly without knowing the fact that like how difficult it is to rejuvenate again, right? Creating the forest, this is not a cup of tea of everyone. It takes many years, but destroying the forest, it is very easy task. We need woods, we need fruits, we need many things from our nature. Cutting the tree, it is beneficial for the human. Therefore, we see many kilometers of the jungle which is being destroyed. Every year you see the landmass which is becoming barren. There used to be the jungles, there used to be trees. You cannot see the trees anywhere there. The building which are constructed, good road infrastructure, these are the signs of the development. We do agree with that, but at the cost of harming the nature, harming ourselves. Fine, we celebrate the birthday and we cut the cake. Why not planting a sepals that can convert into the trees, and after, you will not see the instant effect of this. After 10 years, after 5 years, it will be giving relief to the generation further. So what we are destroying jungles and the trees, that means we are destroying the way of the upcoming generation. So what is step to be taken by us to protect the earth further?
So firstly, a step was taken that in our birthday we should planted a plant. The in a if we live in a 50 years, so in our in our all life we planted 50 plants. So they gave oxygen of hundreds of ton oxygens, and they everyone nowadays in India, in a village, I don't know what the name, but there a girl was born, and they planted 10 plants for one girls. This is a good thing.
You gave the example of the girl. She planted 10 plants, and that could convert into the trees. Another example I would like to set here, Jada Molai Payang, right? He created the complete jungle and the forest which is spread in 14,000 square work kilometers or something. I exactly not able to describe you the unit, but he created the jungle within 30 years. He planted the trees within 30 years, like up to 30 years. It is the biggest task. When he was 80 years old, he started planting the trees there, and 30 years he did one thing only, planting the trees, and he created the biggest jungle. So that's the passion which is required, which is nowhere found. We are the human becoming artificial.
Yes.
We see the flower pots and the trees, decorative trees, which are made up of the plastic. So we have the flower pots which looking very decent, not original. They are made up of plastic. So artificial thing is making the human artificial, which is going beyond the nature and the naturality of the human being. We are becoming artificial, therefore we are not taking care of the environment. Do you think it is the major reason?
It is not true, sir. But the Japanese technology was a development that industry was built in an area. So there a tree instituted the industry. So a machine was developed that take one place to another place as a no harmful for tree, and they take there and another place, sir. They planted another place. There was a technology was developed in Japan.
We can also adopt the same technology to root out the tree from one place and plant it anywhere else. China, Japan, Korea, almost in every developed nation this technology is there, which is not a big thing. We can adopt it in India too. Like, it is a good thing because I live where I saw there were 20 or 25 trees. I live near GR Medical College. I saw many trees were planted there, and I'd been seeing it for 20 or 25 years. Recently they constructed a big building, and all the 20 or 25 and more than that, the tree which were well established, well planted, broad trees in nature, right? They destroyed that. They rooted out the tree. They did not have technology to migrate the tree from one to another place. So that's a problem in India.
Yes.
So India is a nation where the trees are worshipped. We see the God everywhere, in everything, in trees, in plants, we worship them. So why is it like people, they become insincere in the little bit greed, or in the little bit profit, they cut out the trees and want to establish the places there. Earlier we see there were trees, there were jungles and the natural habitats of the animals, where you see the big buildings, skyscrapers which have been constructed. So it shows the greed of a human and it harms the nature. Human is greedy. Is it harming the nature? So do you believe that it is so? And if it is so, how can we control this and protect our nature?
Like that, the technology of the Japan, it's a require, most of the require in India, because there for the constructed anything, building or factory, we cut the tree. So that is a problem for all of us. So by this cutting the tree fastly, the most of the animals get affected by it. Most of the birds, animals get come in a road, and by this thing, the some of the animals are being killed by the roads, by the cars or trucks. So this is a problem also in a so this is a problem for all of us, because that some of the species of the most of the animals like tiger, ostrich, birds, like the flamingo, most of the flamingo will come in the villages, or most of the birds is come in the villages. Peacocks is mostly seen in cities, but now there is no the peacock. Most of the some amount is peacock is alive. So this is most of the problems.
As you say that a greedy person, so as you say, we can government should take place to control the greedy person, that a law was developed that a person can't build a 100 stories. So that that's why that's why the greedy person control our limits. As you know that a person cut the forest, and animals have to leave their home, and therefore some species was extinct. Nowadays we cannot see the pink head duck. It was extinct. Therefore we have to take decision to control the greedy person, sir.
As you talk about the animal kingdom, nature, safaris and the wildlife, extremely important to take care of this. If we want to be alive on this planet, Earth is very beautiful planet, we need to save it, and we need to start from right now, right? So taking care of all this natural aspect, taking care of the nature, it can heal everything. We know everything about the protection of the nature, we should protect it, and it is very important, because except Earth there is no any other planet scientists have found to live and migrate. So we need to protect our home, which is the Earth. We know that it is important to save the atmosphere, to save the trees, but we do not want to admit it. Hope that like the mindset of the people, generation which is upcoming, which will change, bring up some change, positive change in favor of the nature, and we'll see something good happening to the nature. Otherwise it will be a biggest disaster which human can bring up. All right, so this brings me to end of this discussion here. Thank you very much.